Hello, Luna. Hi, Melanie. Hello. So I'm going to share a few words. If you'd like to stay in the silence, please mute me. I don't mind. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. To anyone who's new, this channel is dedicated to the work and teachings of someone named Bruno Grüning. And so Bruno Grüning did not come to start a new religion. He came to point out certain universal truths that you can find in almost every religion. So far as I can tell, the fundamental principle that Bruno taught that you can find, again, through many different religions, traditions, philosophies, is that there is an almighty, all good power that created everything, guides everything, and that this power is accessible to us human beings to help. And that this power can even heal. Of course it can heal. It's unlimited. I should have said that in my all good and unlimited power that can do anything. So I have respect for the various religions and traditions of the world. I've participated in different ones and I continue to participate in different ones. And you can see if we keep our attention on this fundamental idea that Bruno taught, and if we stick with that, it's not really possible to turn what he taught into a religion. Of course, we as human beings can. We can turn anything into a religion. And what Bruno taught about was the basis of reality. What he taught about was how to have direct access to this power. Yes, he said that at a certain point, some people need a helper to help them access this power. The helper doesn't have to be physically present. With that one caveat, that one idea added in, we can see that all Bruno Grüning taught was about the reality of this great power, this great reality, and how to access it. Part of accessing it is needing a helper for some people, for part of their journey. But minus that one piece, everything Bruno Grüning taught was how to access that power and how to live a harmonious life. He didn't talk hardly at all about the afterlife. You find a brief mention here or there. He didn't talk about the need of having a specific theological belief, reading a specific book, attending a specific religion or church or denomination, following a human leader. To the contrary, he encouraged people to follow God, or instructed. He didn't establish traditions other than a certain physical posture for how to receive the power of God. He wanted to establish a healing center. He didn't want to establish churches. He wasn't opposed to churches or opposed to religion. But all the things that we think of as religion just weren't what he taught. All the structures. Certainly he talked about God all the time. The topic of religion that religion is pointing towards. I'm reading one of his speeches, and he says, all that I want of you is that, I'm paraphrasing, but in essence, all I want is that people go the right way. I don't say any of these things to critique religion, organized religion, or structured religion, just to point out the fundamentals that Bruno taught. He taught about this great reality. He taught how to access this reality, and he taught people how to live well. When I try and break down Bruno's teachings in my mind, so far as I can tell, it has three main components. Again, practical instructions for how to live, practical instructions for how to take this energy in, and this discussion about the helper's role in all of this. A spiritual friend is another term he called it. The only theology Bruno Grinning really taught was that God is all good, that God never punishes. He talked about the journey that we are all on, that we are not bodies, that we're souls, and that this particular life is just a very small part of our soul's journey. He spoke of two powers, good and evil. And this whole teaching is based around helping people connect to the good and freeing themselves or being freed from evil. Above and beyond that's about as complex. That's about his theology. His theology could be summed up in about 7 or 8 sentences. He didn't call us so much to have a certain belief, but he did call us to trust that God is all good. But ultimately, he wanted people to come to know, and this is another difference between how Bruno taught and religion, is he didn't want people to profess a belief. He wanted people to have a direct experience and to come to know for themselves. He didn't want people to be reliant on other people, on a particular religious institution or a religious leader. He wanted people to be reliant on God. Again, he didn't oppose religion, according to Greta Hausler, who knew him well. That Bruno's vision was that the churches and temples would be full of people practicing their faith. So I talk a lot, almost every day I talk about Bruno's teachings on this channel. And I do it for many reasons. One of them is my personal belief that this teaching can turn this world around. Part of it is the want and need to be of service. And part of it is it helps me. Bruno's teachings are very simple. They are not easy. They're not easy for me. And if I understand Bruno correctly, he himself said that this spiritual journey isn't easy because of what we're up against, because evil is not easy to overcome. It's not easy to watch your thoughts all day long and reject the negative ones. And it's not easy to have no fear or no resentments. It's not easy for me. If it is easy for anyone, send me an email because I want to learn from you. And I'm not joking. It's not easy to seek to be connected to God all day long, and not easy to seek and follow God's will all day long. It's not easy for me. If it's easy for you, please email me if you're able to do those things, and I want to learn how to do it better. Sometimes I'm frustrated how it's not easy. Sometimes I'm literally resentful or angry at God for how hard life is. And then I come back to what I consider to be the truth. That this is a school, that I and all of us are here to learn. And it's not supposed to be easy. I don't have the exact quote, but according to Greta Hausler, exact quote of Bruno's, but according to Greta Hausler, Bruno said that trillions of souls were lined up for the spiritual opportunity to be on this planet. What's the spiritual opportunity? To face evil. According to Greta Hausler, Bruno taught that evil is given free rein here on this planet in a way that it isn't elsewhere. And that the opportunity to face it in a body on this planet is a very special spiritual opportunity. Okay, so there's one more you could say theological idea. The other reason I do this channel, do this so often, not only do I need lots of tuning in, like I want to live in paradise. It's selfish. My view is the more people that practice tuning in and practice the essence of what Bruno taught, the sooner paradise will arrive. I'd like to thank everyone who joined in. I'm going to wrap up in the next minute or so. I also do this because Bruno and these teachings saved my life. And it's my hope that my work can help save at least one other life. Yeah. Thank you, Melanie. Very touched by that. Bringing one's life into divine order, it's not easy. So it's not been easy for me. And it continues to deepen. It's not like you tune in and then like, oh, I'm done. I brought my life into divine order. For me, it's this gradual process of examining everything, how I eat, what I read, what I watch, who I connect with, how I connect with people. Slowly, slowly, more and more bringing it into alignment with God, with goodness, with harmony, with health, with love. Thanks for saying hi, Jisoo. I really appreciate everyone who not just drops by this channel, but does the work. Like, there's other things you could do than listen to a talk about Bruno Grunning and tune in. This is YouTube, right? Like, there's a million trillion videos. I would argue most of them are nothing more than just a distraction, but regardless, there's a million things you could do with your time. And I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to these teachings, hopefully to practice them a little bit and to practice receiving the power of God. I'm convinced that if enough of us receive this, this is not about me. It's not like if enough people come to this YouTube channel, but if enough people around the world receive the power of God, can't even fathom what would happen to this world. Very grateful. Take care. And big, big love. And let's just keep tuning in more and more, developing faith more and more, and following God more and more. Take care. Big love. You're so welcome, Luna. Actually, it's hard to leave. I just reminded of, I grew up Christian in Methodist, the Methodist denomination. And there was a song they would have us sing as kids. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And so maybe that's what it's all about. Bruno likened all of us to light bulbs. We plug in and we shine and we go do good. So let's plug in, let's charge up, and let's shine out. Take care, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful day of shining.